Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. June 8th, 2017. How's your day today, my man?
Man, today was a beautiful day. One more day to the weekend.
I know.
Weekend.
Right there, right there. This week kind of flew by, man. I don't know if it's just that it's just the teachers and the kids out and the smooth rides to work.
Hey,
Like I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. But
you're not lying, man. I didn't even
beautiful
notice.
traffic, bro.
I didn't even notice that the kids was out until one day I looked to the side and I was just like, "Yo, why is it taking me
Just
only 10
cruising.
minutes
You
to
catch
get to
yourself hitting
work?"
catch yourself hitting like 50 on the
Exactly. Just
on
running through the school zone, flashing lights and everything.
yeah, ain't no cops or nothing, bro. But man, before we get into the NFC West divisional breakdown that we are going to be starting today, our first part of 8, we are going to be breaking down all 8 divisions like we told everybody. We're going to start off with the Wonder Woman review. MG did just catch it on Tuesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Go ahead, give me your overall thoughts, and as always, end it off with the official rating.
All right, man. So going into Wonder Woman, I had high expectations because I didn't make it this weekend to go check it out. So me and my girlfriend, we went out to go check out the new Wonder Woman film, and I have to say that I was thoroughly impressed. The thing that impressed me the most is that DC and Warner Brothers has been struggling out the gate with their DC films between Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad. And the reason why they've been struggling because all those films have been decisive. There's the fans that love it, and it's the fans that hate it, and then the critics, they don't really care for it, and the general audience, they may like it, they may not. So it's been a lot of decisiveness going on. But this Wonder Woman film, it really blew everything out the water because no one saw this coming. The success of Wonder Woman and the positivity that this movie has gotten, and I've been really impressed by what Patty Jenkins has done with this Wonder Woman movie. And after watching this film, you as an audience member may not notice, but Patty Jenkins was in the running back in 2009 and 10 to direct the Thor movie. And it just after seeing this movie, you just happen to just think, what could she have done with that Thor film? Because basically Wonder Woman is just like the female Thor, or if you want to say she's just like Thor, honestly. And the things I really liked about this movie, the CGI wasn't the greatest, but with the 110 budget they had, I was really impressed with it. The fight scenes, the action, I have to say, it was top notch. It was very, very entertaining. And it really showcased that, Wonder Woman has always been known as this big breast, big behind, kind of thick, muscular woman, and and looking at Gal Gadot, who plays the main character, she doesn't have those features, and she really exudes the strength of Superman in this small, frail body that she has. And I think she did well in the role. Her acting wasn't the greatest, but she did well with the role, and she did a far better job than what I've seen in her previous films, including the Fast and Furious films. So how her acting was. So she did a wonderful job. I also like the surrounding cast. Chris Pine, for one, is one that stood out to me playing Steve Trevor. He really carried a lot of the weight on this film. And the thing that really worked for this film is the chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. It really flourished in this film, and it was very entertaining. A lot of people are complaining about the villains being holding the film down, but me personally, I really enjoyed the villains. I enjoyed you find out that Ares is the main villain, and when you find out who is playing Ares, if you're really following the movie and you're really following the dialogue that Patty Jenkins wellly crafted, you would find yourself really enjoying and fall into the movie, that the villain problem will not stick out as some people say it does. So all in all, I really enjoyed this film. I'll give it honestly a 4 out of 5, and I think this is the most entertaining movie I've seen this year out of all the films I've seen. It's up there with Logan, in my opinion. But
That's a damn good movie.
Well, yeah, Logan was an amazing movie. But there's something about this movie that it feels something special because I didn't have the expectations that a Wonder Woman was going to be. Because like the track record from female movies are bad, like Elektra, Catwoman.
Oh my god.
Or you want to call the Annie Flocks or whatever it was
back
then.
Catwoman.
I think Patty Jenkins really saved this movie, and she really put her handprint on this movie. And the thing about this movie that also worked is people have to remember that DC has this universe going, so they have kind of the dark tone patterns to their movies, and Wonder Woman kind of blended in there, but you felt a levity that you didn't get in those other movies. For one thing, I didn't mention was the comedy. The comedy in this movie was top notch. She was kind of a fish out of water, so her banter was kind of hilarious, and her interaction with people was kind of hilarious. And it's something that I haven't seen in a DC film, that they're really putting in jokes, and it's not cheesy like you can get with a Marvel movie, but it's like, oh, okay, I can, that's pretty funny. It's nothing that's over the top or forced. It's kind of genuine laughter or genuine comedy. So all in all, I really enjoyed this movie. I might give it a 4.5. I want to check it out again. But for right now, my MG review was going to have to be a 4 out of 5 for Wonder Woman.
4 out of 5 for Wonder Woman. I'm going to have to catch that, man. Like I said, I wanted to go on Tuesday, and my girl wasn't really feeling it, but I'm gonna have to drag her to these movies on Tuesday. We may have to catch a little double feature. I want to see that scary movie that's coming out. I forgot what it's called.
Mummy?
The Mummy? No, it's called What Happens at Night or something.
Oh man, I ain't seen no trailer for that. I need to go check it out.
Yeah, it comes out tonight, but I'm gonna go on Tuesday. I'm cheap, man. I like half off.
I understand, but I didn't even know Tuesday even had half off. So I was like, "Yo, is this new? Has this been going on? Why haven't I gotten any emails?"
No, at AMC, if you're a AMC Stubs member, then you get half off on Tuesdays.
Oh, see, I went to Studio Movie Grill, and it was only $5, and that's Copperfield. That's on Highway 6 and 290, and I was like, dang, it's only $5 again. So $10 can get me into a movie and $10 on some food we can share. Hey, we good to go.
Good for $20.
Yeah, and the thing about this movie, I don't want to prolong this too long, but going in, you would think this is just going to be kind of cater toward the females, but the movie doesn't do that. It doesn't force that. It doesn't force women empowerment or trying to just cater to women or jokes that only women would get. It's really entertaining from start to finish. From the little girl who plays Diana Prince, who is Wonder Woman, she did an amazing job with Robin Wright. If you House of Cards fans, she's the vice. Which say you watch House of Cards?
Yeah, I like House of Cards, man.
Oh yeah, Robin Wright. Robin Wright. She plays she plays her aunt in the movie, and she does a fantastic job. But I really enjoyed this film, and I can't wait to go see it again.
No, it sounds like it met your expectations. I know when you reviewed Furious 8 and Guardians of the Galaxy, you felt like they wasn't really on par. You gave them both a 3, So it sounded like you were very excited about this movie. So I definitely got to check it out, man.
And now that you said that, and I gave it a 3, I'm gonna give this one a 4.5, because if I gave those film a 3, I think 4 is not giving this film justice, because this film is way better than those other 2 movies. I mean, an entertainment factor, it could compete with Fast and the Furious, but I really thought this script, story,
do you feel like they actually progressed the Wonder Woman like enigma a little bit more in this actual movie?
Okay, so they did so great with Wonder Woman that so in Marvel, Iron Man is kind of the central figure, and that's he's kind of the one that's always popping in and out of movies, and the one that you can market the most. And in DC, they were going for Batman to be that role with Ben Affleck. They can really just insert Wonder Woman and just have her be some type of centerpiece for everything, because
captain of the boat. Huh?
Yeah, she really had an impression on me. And Gal Gadot is not Gadot, however you say her name. She's not the greatest of actresses, but the dialogue, script, and just the tailoring of the movie really captured something out of that I didn't think I was gonna get out of her. And I can really see, she teaming up with Aquaman or the Flash and Batman. But if they want to go with Batman, cool and dandy, but I really think she did a great job, and I think she really came out the gate exceeding expectations, so it's going to really stick in the minds of a lot of audience.
Nice 4.5 out of 5. That's the official MG review right there. All right, man. Let's make this next topic quick before we get into the NFC West. We got the Warriors up 3-0. Potential Finals MVP Kevin Durant is balling out of his mind with one of the most clutchest shots I have ever seen in the NBA Finals.
Can you give me some praise? Can I get some praise?
I can't do it right now, man. I'm too hurt.
Oh man,
I'm too hurt, Marcus, because I told you if that happens, that's the worst thing that could happen.
You did tell me that, but what did I tell you? I told you, and I told America, whoever listens to this podcast, anybody I see in the street, at work, whatever, the Cavs were getting swept.
I'm disgusted.
I mean, to the average person, I know it may be disgusting, and I know you probably foresaw the Warriors, kind of giving it all to the Cavs. But
I knew they was going to win. I never once said the Cavs were going to win, but damn, man, I just want some, I want some. I'm old school, okay. Like I say, my pops, he grew up watching. My pops played basketball back in the 80s. My stepfather, he was a big basketball head. He the one that got me started watching basketball in '97. But I always been a big fan of competition, and that's my only thing. Like I love dominance, but I can only deal with it so much. Like even with the Lakers, I was glad when they finally had lost to the Spurs. I'm like, oh God, another team in the Western Finals. Even though they swept through the Nets, it was just good to see, a fresh matchup. This is our third time seeing this matchup. They overhyped the shit out of you. Seen the T-shirts I sent you. And I just wanted some type of competition. Just win a game or two. Extend the series a little bit. This series could be up before the weekend starts.
Okay. I took two things out of this series. One was I was really, as me and you were trying to be up and coming, sports analysts, and looking at ESPN and FS1 and Fox, them talking about this series. Everybody had expectations that this series was going to go 6 or 7 games.
I never.
And this is the thing that blew my mind. If you're really an analyst, and if me and you are we're babies in the game. And if I can sit up there and look at a Warriors game, and I look at a Cavs game, something screams to me that the Warriors are going to dominate the Cavs, because the thing that the Cavs lack on, if you've been really watching the Cavs, was on defense when the ball is moving fluidly. Rotation. And what is the Warriors pride themselves on? Defense first. I want everybody to know that on defense first. Mark Jackson instilled that. Defense first. Second is on moving the ball. Steve Kerr comes from the Popovich tree. Do you not think that is what he preaches? Is that not what Atlanta does with Mike Budenholzer? So what do you think Steve Kerr is going to do? He's going to implement ball movement and not selling for a great shot, but getting the greatest shot that you can get. And the Warriors was going to take advantage of that. You saw that in game 1 when they got out the gate, game 2 when they got out the gate, and game 3 in clutch time moments. And the thing that sticks out to me is the way that Kevin Durant has elevated to another level that I don't think a lot of us really recognized or gave enough attention to. We were so sold on the Westbrook, James Harden show, and then we looking at LeBron, and here comes Kawhi Leonard, that we kind of forgot about Kevin Durant. We were kind of having, stuck in our own ways.
I think so.
The reason why I say that is everybody all of a sudden wants to say that, oh man, Kevin Durant is the second best player in the league, or some are saying that he's passed up LeBron, and I'm gonna get to that later. And the thing that always captured me or surprises me, that just 2 rounds ago, everybody was hyping up Kawhi Leonard like he was the second best player in the league. And honestly, I even hyped up Kawhi Leonard that he's the second best player in the league, that I kind of forgot, and I was kind of naive to forget about Kevin Durant. And we did. We forgot about Kevin Durant, and he's really elevated to a game.
He did miss a couple games in the first round series, so you really couldn't see the dominance. You know
That's
what I mean?
True.
But he's always been this assassin. That's one thing. He made second team All NBA for a reason.
See, he's been an assassin, but I've never seen
defensively.
Kevin Durant defensively. No. His prowess on defense is really surprising, and really it jumps out on the screen, because when he was dominating game 2 with all those blocks, and in game 1 with those quick steals, you saw the emergence of a star, and you really saw the emergence of somebody who's coming and rising in the moment and telling LeBron, I see you, I want your spot. Like you saw me 4 or 5 years ago when I was a young chick. But now I'm grown. Like I want what you got, and he proved that last night with that bank shot that he hit on not Richard Jefferson, Tristan Thompson, and also that pull-up 3 that he hit on LeBron. That was a game. That was a punch in the face to LeBron and saying, hey, guess what? This is my time, and I'm here to seize the moment. And going forward, I'm going to be checking for Kevin Durant, because I'm thinking that it's a passing of the torch. Because back in 2011, when we saw Kobe Bryant get swept by the Mavericks, no one saw that coming. Nobody predicted that the championship Lakers would get swept, but it happened. And then in changing of the guard of, okay, Kobe, you kind of losing a step. Let's go to LeBron. Then LeBron really became the dominant force of the league. I can see that changing of the guard happening just after that shot. The confidence that Kevin Durant is playing with is off the chart. And everybody wants to say that he's playing with a great team. Yes, he is. But he's outshining the two-time MVP, the Splash Brothers, the Big Three Allura, the 73 and 9 team of last year. He's outshining all of them on the biggest stage.
True.
In the most crucial moments that everybody said that he was not ready for. Everybody said that Kevin Durant has something to prove. He's playing like he has nothing to prove. Kevin Durant's playing like, I've been this raw.
And that's the truth. He has been this way. And I think that's where his frustration comes in. Like, you kind of seen him playing angry because this is a player that got passed over for Greg Oden. Even back in high school, he was the second best player in high school. So they say he finished second in the final MVP voting before he actually got the MVP in the regular season. He finished second in the finals when he lost. So he's always been that second tier guy. But this year, he's making that elevation to first tier.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised that everybody I think the name value carried enough weight that of LeBron James that people thought that he was going to give you a 6 or 7 game series. But I feel like people really tried to create that narrative in their mind, like this was actually going to go 6 or 7, or the Warriors weren't going to sweep them. I saw it. I saw it through the illusion and the bullshit that everybody was spewing, and I saw that the Warriors was going to cook these boys. And last night was a heroic effort from LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, I can't say enough about his talent, but he gives you nothing on defense. Nothing at all on defense. And that's a problem. Kevin Love, nothing on defense. Shumpert, nothing on defense. JR, nothing. And the name goes on. And that's what that's the thing about LeBron. He was so focused and spoiled with the Heat, with D-Wade being one of the top defenders, and Chris Bosh, who people want to underrate, is one of the best perimeter defenders and inside defenders. And he got kind of spoiled, and he was so looking at what the Warriors had that he's like, you know what, I need more offense. But guess what? He forgot the Warriors play good defense, and they're exposing the Cavs. And I don't know if it's fate, or is this coincidence, or a set of karma that LeBron James is falling victim of what he created. I don't care. I'm not calling the Boston Celtics back in 2008 a super team. Yeah, on paper they're a super team, but they were 32 and 33. LeBron James was going with D-Wade and they prime age. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. And the main thing about the Cavaliers, it's two types of players that I call on defense. I call the scoreboard watchers and the court slappers. The court slappers, they trying to lock you down. They're like, all right, bring it on. Scoreboard watchers, they score on their offense, then they come back like, damn, we down by 8 points, playing no kind of defense. The Cavaliers got way too many scoreboard watchers. They too concerned with what's the next point going to come from, and not when can I stop these people from scoring points. That's the biggest issue that they have.
And you see Kevin Durant locked in. You see the Warriors locked in. And people always want to use the whole storyline of the Cavs came back from 3-1 last year. Who gives a fuck? This is a whole nother year. And
it's a whole different team.
Do you think the Warriors going to come with that's just like, does that not remind you of the narrative when the Broncos lost in the Super Bowl and they were not going to lose that next in the Super Bowl last year? The next year they made it. Do you think, do you really believe that the Warriors were really going to let the Cavs come back if the Warriors got up? I don't know how people they just talk themselves into believing the bullshit that comes out their mouth, and I don't understand it, honestly. Kevin Durant has arrived. He's proved to me that he comes that this was the right move for him, that he made the most basketball sense to him move, because it shows in his game, and it also shows that Westbrook was really holding Kevin Durant back.
Hey, I can agree totally with that. We're seeing it with the elevation in his play, more efficient, better shooting percentage, more active on the block. So everything is showing. Everything is pointing up as far as Kevin Durant's game. So I can definitely agree with that. He has elevated his game to the championship caliber that his team had already had. So
can I ask you a question right quick? I don't want to go too long on this. I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think that do you think people created that narrative of the LeBron and Jordan factor to hype up LeBron to a level of Jordan's greatness because they see there's something that's lacking in LeBron's game? That clutch factor is gone out of LeBron's game. I've never seen this man. I've never seen a star of his caliber be so passive in moments of let me do this. Like, because I was listening to the radio, and if you listen to many people, they say that LeBron tries to get people going. These are grown-ass motherfucking men playing in the finals. Why do you need to get them going? My message to them in the huddle is, you play your fucking game and I play mine. And I don't need to get you going. You should already be getting going. Because if I pass you a shot and you miss it, and I pass you one more time and you miss it, I'm not passing it to your ass no more. So why do you keep fucking passing it to Korver, who's been missing these threes? And he had a straight driving lane to the goal with Draymond Green, who had 5 fouls. Why did you pass that ball to Kyle Korver?
I mean, he's been doing that his whole career, man.
I know he's been doing that his whole career.
He's been doing that when he kicked it out the box and started doing that. That's why he's more Magic
than exactly.
And I actually say he's like a combination of Magic with like a souped up Scottie Pippen. You know, like that's more
Dr. J. I would say Dr. J.
I mean, defensively, he got he can lock you down like Scottie. That's why I threw Scottie in there, because he can defend like Scottie, but offensively, he played more like Magic. I mean, that defense not there no more. So,
and he's offensively like Scottie without the three. Like, you know, if you look at that game,
but he knows his weakness. His weakness is a consistent jump shot. That's why you don't see him take that many. It seems like he's more surprised when he makes them than most people are. But he knows his flaws, and he has to rely on his teammates because he's nothing without his teammates.
But I'm just
let's be completely honest.
He's so big. You saw they could not stop him getting to the lane. It's just like he just clicks out. His brain clicks off that I shouldn't drop to the lane anymore.
He gets tired just like anybody else, man. I mean, we can only do so many things for an X amount of minutes before we just start sweating shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
be too tired, because if you watch him, he be bowing niggas. I don't care what nobody say. LeBron is the greatest free armor I've ever seen, because he gets away with bowing and free arming niggas all day. I respect his greatness, but I mean, hey, it is him, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. All that shit is pissing me off. Like that free arming, it's not right to me.
You know, but just in general, I'm just tired of the comparisons, man, because it's different eras, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like rules, teams, salary caps, everything was different in the Jordan era. Everything was different in the early 2000s.
Reffing, body sizes of people.
Yeah, so it's just the usage. I mean, centers, you can't have a center these days. You just can't. I mean, LeBron was playing 5 last night. You know what I'm saying? So everything is completely different. These are different eras. It's hard to match up. You got people like Dr. J saying that they'll sweep the Warriors. Then Magic comes say you sweep the Warriors. The Pistons say they're going to sweep the Warriors. You know, so everybody from their era is going to take up from the time that they were great, because they all feel like they were the best. But we honestly, truly would never know. It seemed like these debates always lead to arguments. And I don't understand, because honestly, everybody's right, because everybody has a right to their opinion. And everybody has a different player that they like. Everybody got a different era that they like. Shit, I was a huge fan of Gilbert Arenas because he was the underdog. To go where Gilbert Arenas went from to $100 million, that's the type of player that I want to root for. But everybody's not a fan of Gilbert Arenas. But I can't sit there and go out trying to promote why I think he was the best player. I can't go out there and explain why I was a Baron Davis fan for 5 years, because everybody's not going to agree with my opinion. And I feel like LeBron versus Jordan or anybody else you want to throw into that conversation, everybody always has an opinion. It's hard to say who's right or wrong, because we would never know.
Man, you put Michael Jordan consciousness in fucking LeBron James' body, shit. Man,
whole different animal. That's
a motherfucker that's about to win 8 championships in a fucking row. You put LeBron James consciousness in Jordan's body back in the day, you ain't getting no championships. Jordan GOAT.
All day, man. But man, let's move on to the fun stuff. We're about to kick off this NFL breakdown. We're gonna be starting with the NFC West. Last year, the NFC West went in order from the Seahawks at 10-5-1,
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals at 7-8-1. You had the Rams at 4-12, and the San Francisco 49ers at 2-14. We are going to kick this off with the division winners, the Seattle Seahawks. And me personally, I think they're going to be repeating this year. And I really don't see much competition in this division. I don't know how you feel about Arizona. But like I said, we're going to start with the Seahawks. Fantasy-wise, is there anybody that you would target from the Seahawks?
Well, you already know who we're going to target from the Seahawks. For one, it's going to be Russell Wilson. This is going to be I think this is going to be the type of year Russell Wilson wants to bounce back and have the type of production that Russell Wilson normally has. Yes, last year was kind of a down year for him. He was hurt, offensive line problems, injuries on his offensive weapons. Doug Baldwin was still as productive as I've ever seen. I'm really high on Doug Baldwin this year, higher than I've ever been on Doug Baldwin. But Russell Wilson is the Seahawk. If I had to choose one, it would have to be Russell Wilson, the safe pick, the go-to pick. And my sleeper pick that I would pick up is either going to be between Eddie Lacy and CJ Prosise. For the simple fact is, I can see CJ being one of your Shane Vereen type of player in PPR. I can really see him. I can see him having a bounce back season. Because before the injury last year, he was really having a phenomenal season. I mean, phenomenal last half of the season because Thomas Rawls couldn't get it going. So he was really, out the backfield, and he was playing a wide out some. So it was really nice to see him out there. And I feel like he's going to pick up where he left off. But Eddie Lacy, man, that's a big body. That's a Marshawn Lynch type of body. And those whole incentives that he has in his contract, I think he's going to keep the weight down. And you're really going to see a re-emergence of Eddie Lacy to prove that he is one of the top backs in the league. So I'm really going to have my eye on Eddie Lacy. He burnt me last year, but I'm going to jump out on a limb. And if I can't get him, I will get. Man, he fucked me over. Let's be honest.
Man, he been my keeper for the last 3 years in one of my leagues. I actually had, at one point, I had him and Antonio Brown. But like I said, I always been huge on my running backs. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep Eddie and let Antonio go. And you see how that panned out. So this was right before Antonio Brown.
Oh man, crazy.
This was like 4 years. This was Eddie Lacy come off like 1,100 yards and like 400 yards receiving. I thought the sky was the limit.
Knew was coming. Oh, you knew he was about to eat next year.
Yeah.
Man, he just got fat, man. I used to didn't want to use that excuse that he would just get fat. I was like, man, the Green Bay, they not giving the ball up. Actually, that was a factor because there was one time I think Eddie Lacy last year he came back and from injury and he broke off. They were playing the Vikings and he broke off a long run and they kind of just took Eddie Lacy out the game. And I'm just like,
he just never came back.
Like, what the hell? The Packers are the type of team that I always wonder, what the fuck are y'all doing? What are y'all doing in free agency?
They bring in John Coons just out of nowhere.
So why? Like, I mean, Eddie Lacy, I would have re-signed Eddie Lacy and I would have put the same incentive that he has in his contract now and would have kept him because you losing the type of talent. You don't let that type of running back just leave for nothing. Like, honestly, he got fat. Maybe you need to do something. Maybe you need to tell him stop going like a babysitter to be with Eddie Lacy or some shit if you really value his talents because you don't really have Ty Montgomery is not going to do anything back there. I know they did draft that one running back dude, but he might be nice. But, I mean, they really need running back help to alleviate the pressure off of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I hear you, but man, as far as fantasy is concerned, Eddie Lacy, he seems like he's going a little bit too high for me. I don't know if I'd waste a 4th round pick on him. I think I can find about 15 more running backs that I want ahead of Eddie because, like I say, it seems like it's kind of crowded back there between him, Thomas Rawls, and CJ. Even though I know CJ's the passing down back, but that means Eddie Lacy's coming off on 3rd downs, so that kind of takes a little bit of his value away, you know.
Well, I'm taking Eddie Lacy around if on
it depends on the draft board. I mean, if you have one of the big 3, then you really don't need an Eddie Lacy, you know.
This is how I look at it. If I'm in the later rounds and I have like Eddie Lacy, Jonathan Stewart, maybe Doug Martin, and fucking I don't know,
like
just out of those,
Murray.
Yeah, one of those. I'm taking Eddie Lacy out of there because the upside. Like if I have room, if after I draft, let's say if I got David Johnson and maybe I lucked up and got
like Marshawn or something like that.
Somebody like that.
Yeah.
If I don't really see no wide receivers that are really jumping at the board of me, and I feel confident in the two that I have, I might take a flyer on Eddie Lacy because he's the type of dude that I can see him getting it going when it gets a little bit colder.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I can see them pounding him. I can see them pounding the rock with him a little bit, and I can see him getting those 2-3 yard touchdowns because the Seahawks is love to be like the Patriots and fall at the 1 yard line for some odd reason.
Man, they always at the 1 yard line. It don't make no sense. But yeah, what about Doug Baldwin? They currently got him going in the 3rd round. You think that's a little too rich for your blood, or you can see him being like one of your top picks in the 3rd round?
He's gonna be one of my top picks in the late 3rd round if he's there. If he's like time, if there's like time, let's say T.Y. Hilton. I mean T.Y. and him there. I'm taking him over T.Y. for the upside because Jimmy Graham really had a great resurgence at the end of the last year, and I feel like that's gonna carry to this year. Another year in the offense, another year with that whole receiving core, and I feel like a healthy Tyler Lockett makes life better for Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, it does.
A hurt Tyler Lockett makes life terrible for Doug Baldwin. So
got CJ Prostate though, like
that is CJ. Well, that is true, but
Jimmy Graham.
That's a good offense, but I just like it because Tyler, he takes the top off the defense, and that's kind of where Doug Baldwin wants to operate. It's kind of in the middle of the field, but if you don't have that deep threat,
if you got a safety right there over you, it's gonna be kind of hard
CJ Prostate. He's good, but there's always a risk with him coming back from that injury. How is he going to be? Same with Tyler Lockett. So that's always in the back of my mind. But if you want to take a flyer, if you need somebody with high upside, I'm going with Doug Baldwin because he might easily pop off and have another 12 touchdowns, maybe 1,000-yard type season.
No, I can agree with that. Say if it's like Doug Baldwin and like Devontae Adams, Alshon Jeffrey, I'll take Doug Baldwin all day. I think Doug Baldwin can easily go over them. Maybe not Alshon, but it's always going to be a risk with Alshon, So I think it's a lot safer to take Doug because he's going to get his double digits. He's going to get his targets. Alshon may miss a couple games.
Oh, that's the risk. The only reason why I would take Alshon, I love it when people are in contract. He only signed a 1 year with the Eagles. So, he wants to show out and pat his stats a little bit. And those are the type of players that
that's the risk. That's the risk you take, though.
That's the knowledge that a lot of people don't have. You always want to go for a player who's have incentives in their contract and also players that are in contract year, because those is when they usually turn up their numbers a little bit or put in a little extra or demand more attention. And also, you also want to go against, this is another tip, this is a little secret. You also want to go for the people who complain that they didn't see enough targets, week 5. So if you see Dez Bryant bitching and talking like, man, you didn't, I didn't get the ball enough. Week 6, they're going to pepper that nigga. So you might want to, so that's always look at that. So y'all making sure y'all pay attention to that.
No doubt, man. Then they got Jimmy Graham going in the 6th round. I think that's way too high for Jimmy Graham. I'd rather wait and maybe like a Fleener or Jack Doyle or something like that may fall to me. Even Martellus Bennett.
I don't want those 3 over. I want Jimmy Graham over those. I mean,
I'm just saying, I'd rather 6th round. I can still get a starting receiver in the 6th round.
That's true.
I think that's too high for a tight end. I don't think you can touch a tight end to after round 10.
That's true, but if you get one of the top 3 tight ends,
if it's the top 3, that's not Jimmy Graham. You know what I'm saying? Kelsey, Gronkowski, and Jordan Reed, those are the top 3. If you get one of those in your first 4 or 5 rounds, you set. But if you take Jimmy in the 6, you reaching because there's no other tight ends there.
Would you put Cameron Brate over Jimmy Graham?
I'll take Cameron Brate over because Jameis Winston targets his tight ends. Even if you look back to his college games.
His college days, that's why I took Cameron Brate. I think I'm high on Cameron Brate again this year.
But he still got O.J. Howard to compete with. So if it's one thing about Jimmy Graham, he will have all the tight end targets. But still, I think 6th round is still a little bit too pricey. I'd rather you never know.
You never know. Luke Wilson may run across there and snag a few from Jimmy Graham. Man, he be pissing me off. We need to have like a segment on Fishing Grits where we have a fantasy player that got robbed. Like when I had LaShawn McCoy, and he would do all the work, and Gillislee would just fuck up me over and have all the touchdowns.
Let me get this.
Give him a fishing grits, a bullshit a day or something. I don't know.
Man, what's your overall record that you got the Seahawks having this year?
Man, looking at their schedule, did you want to talk on their schedule a little bit?
Man, we can run through right quick.
Just a little quick.
Yeah, me personally, I got them losing the first game at Green Bay. I think it's going to be pretty tough.
I do
but
too.
After that, I got them reeling off 4 straight wins over San Francisco, Tennessee, the Colts, and the Rams. I got them losing at the Giants.
I got them losing to the Texans.
I got them winning against the Texans, man.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a little tough one for Houston to travel to that loud stadium. It's going to be the middle of the year. I honestly think that the Seahawks, they're going to take advantage of that. I got them winning against the Texans. I got them winning against Washington.
Okay.
I got them losing at Arizona. I got them losing to Atlanta. Then I got them ending the season 5-1 with 4 straight wins at San Francisco, Philly, Jacksonville, and the Rams, losing to Dallas, and then beating Arizona. So I got 11-5.
Did you see them? Do you think they're going to beat the Eagles?
I think they will beat the Eagles. At a home nighttime game, I think the stage may be a little bit too much for Wentz. But we all like this is preseason predictions, you know. So week 13, everything could change. Wentz may be a top 5 quarterback. We just don't know. So if he can elevate his game to compete with the Seattle Seahawks at nighttime in Seattle, that'll be big time. But right now, I got that as a loss for Philly.
I got them going 10-6, but I see it's going to be a loss to the Packers. I got a loss to the Giants. Like I told you, I got a loss to the Texans. That's where we flip-flop it.
Okay.
I got them losing to the Cardinals the first time.
The first time? Okay.
Yes, I got them losing to the Cardinals the first time. I got them losing to the Falcons. And I see them getting after the Falcons. I feel like the 49ers and the Eagles going to get them where Russell Wilson starts to get hot. And I feel like he's going to take it home, and I think he's going to run away, and he got just those 5 losses. Oh, no, I said 6. Oh, I said he was going to lose to the – hold on. Oh, they're going to lose to the Cowboys, and they're going to close it off with a dub against the Cardinals in always a tough one.
Yeah, those end of season games. Hopefully it'll be for the division or something, so they'll be flip-flopping around. But
that Cowboys game, I think that Cowboys game is going to be one of the highlights of the season, because I feel like the Cowboys and the Seahawks are going to be in it and trying to get home field advantage, and I feel like that's going to be one that we're going to be tuning into. That's going to be fantasy bonanza game.
Buckle your seats for week 16. All right, man, we're going to move to the team that finished second with a 7-8-1 record, the Arizona Cardinals, man. There's only one person we really got to discuss, and that's the consensus number one. I mean,
you already know.
David Johnson just as good as the all right. But, you know, other than David Johnson, it's not a lot of people on this roster that I even want to take a chance on. I mean, Fitzgerald,
Larry. I'm taking Larry. I'm the type of person.
I've never had him on any of my fantasy teams.
See, and you know what? I was looking at some game tape of last year.
He kills me when he played me though. He kills me every time.
Get Larry Fitzgerald if you're gonna draft him in one of the a little later rounds. But he's really gonna pay dividends, and I want to say the first maybe 6 or 7 weeks after that, dump his behind off, trade him. Do something, because that's what Larry does. He always starts off good, and then he gets mediocre out of nowhere. I don't know if it's because Carson Palmer becomes the turnover god in the second half of the season or what, but I usually dump Larry Fitzgerald because I happened to see that trend last year, because I actually traded for him, and he reeled off a few 3-touchdown games for me, and then he kind of just tailed off, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I just happened to look back at his old game tape and stuff and saw that he just has that trend. So, I mean, I would take a flyer on him in a later round.
Right now,
but
I got him at the 6th round ADP.
I got him at like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think that 6 kind of high between him and Jimmy Graham going in 6th round. Oh no,
hell no! I don't know.
I'll pass on both of those.
And I'm gonna tell you right, you already know who my guy is. I ride or die with David Johnson, even though he got hurt last year in that last game and kind of lost me the championship in one of my leagues. But it's all good. I ride for my dude, because he's the main cog in the offense. He's the dude that they rely on the most, the most durable, the most elusive in their offense. He catches out the backfield. He's a great blocker, so he's always most of the time he's always on the field. And the thing about Bruce Arians is once he has a running back that he loves, he kind of goes with it. And you see he loves David Johnson, and you see David Johnson loves him some Bruce Arians because he's really peppering his numbers. And it's really a crime to know that David Johnson is only making like $600,000.
Oh man, him and Zeke. Oh man,
that is fucking.
They're getting robbed.
That is criminal. That is criminal to think that this dude is getting paid 600. Oh man, I'd be pissed if I was David Johnson.
I mean,
but he's not the type of dude. But he doesn't seem like the type of dude that would bitch out for a contract. He's the type of dude that's like, hey, I'm coming in, punching in my clock, working, and leaving. He's like the Calvin Johnson.
It's his third year, so he gonna get paid next year. If not this year, I'd pay him now.
I'd pay him now
before he break out even more. Yeah, I just get rid of it and just throw him his money now. Man, how you feel about John Brown? Right now they got him going around 10th round, which I think that'll be a solid pickup. Even if he's hurt, I think 10th round is great. I'll take 10th round all day. But the injuries are a concern. I mean, he did mess up his hamstring yet again, and last year he battled injuries all season.
Yeah, he has that lupus or what was it? Any lupus?
Sickle cell.
But, what about JJ Nelson? I'll take a flyer on him before I take a flyer on, and not a JJ. Isn't his name not JJ Nelson? What's the other wide receiver?
This is JJ Nelson.
Yeah, I would take a flyer on him before I take a flyer over on John Brown. The only reason why is Bruce Arians came out last year and said JJ Nelson is my number 2 guy, and I mean he was really the deep threat, the touchdown guy for the last strand of few games. So I just feel like off season with him, no Floyd, you got to worry about anymore. You know, Larry Fitzgerald's getting kind of old. John Brown, you know, he's old. You know, he's pulling the old Romo trick. So I'm just gonna roll with JJ Nelson for upside. Him, Tyler Gabriel, our boy Tyreek Hill. People like those are the type of people that I want to pick up because those are people I can stash on my bench because you know they're gonna get featured on those games where the score is going to be high. So when you're going against like a Dallas or the Giants or something, like when you know the score, or the Oakland, you know the score is going to be high. So I want those type of people in those moments because they're going to give me those bonus points that you know you unaccounted for.
No, I can definitely agree with that.
That's a good flex. I'll throw them in my flex and ride with it.
It's just with me as far as upside. I feel like a couple years ago, John Brown was just ready to bust out the ceiling. He almost cracked 1,000 yards, and I understand the injuries are there, but with that type of player, if I can get him super late and he's like my 5th or 6th receiver that I'm just banking on to break out at any moment, his opportunity will come at some point because the talent's still there. You just got to get past the injuries, but you can say the same thing with like a Tyler Eifert. Now, Tyler Eifert was hurt all last year, but he came in and dominated for like a 6-week stretch. They got a lot of people into the playoffs, and me included. So if I can get that kind of production out of John Brown, even if it's not the whole year, if he can come in and spot start, if I got somebody on a bye week, I'd love to have him on my team, definitely, if I can get him in a deeper double-digit rounds.
You're right. You know, I may take a flyer on him. It's just he burnt me last year, and I swear.
He burnt me too. He was a 7th-round pick last year. You know,
I'm the type of dude. I even traded for him. I gave up. Who did I give up? I gave up Tyrell Williams for John Brown, and I fucking died. I died inside because Tyrell just took off, and I was like, what? I knew John Brown. I said I knew John Brown because I knew Michael Floyd was falling out of love. You know, it was time for Larry Fitz to fall off. David Johnson was cooking. I said, you know what, John Brown about to take off. And what did he do? Shit the bed. It was in our league when I had John Brown. I was pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I was pissed because I was looking for those booming points, those 40-yard touchdowns, and I thought he was gonna give it to me. He did not. Tyrell would have gave it to me, and I'm just like, no homo, but I'm pissed that I'm pissed about that nigga John Brown. But yeah, you can't take a flyer on him.
Definitely, man. Well, how do you feel about Carson Palmer? You think he'll be able to bounce back to how he was a couple years ago, or you
burnt me last year? Fuck him too. He burnt me last year. Like he had one of the most favorable end of the year schedules, and he shit the bed. Like Carson Palmer, there was this. I needed him to score 2 touchdowns. And it was a game where, I had David Johnson in one of my leagues, so I really was happy. It was like one of those 3 touchdown games from David Johnson, but Carson Palmer threw no touchdowns. It was just like, what are you doing? And then I benched him for Eli one game, and Eli gave me nothing. And Carson Palmer went off, and I was like, "What the fuck?" When I need you to do something, you don't do. He's unreliable to me. He's in a downward spiral of his career, and
Jake Delhomme style.
And I'm really mad that the Cardinals didn't try to make some type of trade or some type of move to get.
I know, right? Just set up for the future.
To get what's his name? That's the backup for Andy Dalton from
AJ McCarron.
Aaron J. McCarron. I was telling somebody that the other day, like he would be the perfect dude for their offense.
Yes.
He would be the perfect dude for the offense because they would have the high flyers that Alabama used to have, and then they had the big body in Michael Floyd, but got rid of him. But I was like, him working with Larry Fitz to get his kind of game and mechanics up.
They've been getting a lot of good buzz out of Chad Williams. Larry Fitzgerald went as far as comparing him to Anquan Bolden. You know, one of his running mates from early in his career. He said he has hands of glue. So
that's a good thing, honestly.
Right. I mean, if you need another possession receiver to replace Michael Floyd, and you bring this young cat in from Grambling State, and he can do anything, that's a plus for Carson Palmer.
Yeah, and you need somebody like that that's going to be in them red zone situations where you don't always, because the defense is going to start really stacking the box for David Johnson, so they're going to have to be a little bit creative. And like you said, if he got hands like our boy Anquan Bolden, you know, that's hands
big
glue.
praise. Yeah, that's big.
See how that was paying. You see how his hands was paying off for what's his name up in Detroit,
in Baltimore too. He got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, in Baltimore. Well, yeah, we're talking about the Baltimore. I'm talking about last year when fourth quarter comeback, Matthew Stafford.
I mean, but I feel like anywhere Anquan been, he's been productive. Whether it's Arizona, 49ers, Baltimore, Detroit, everywhere he goes, he always makes a statement on that offense, and he's a difference maker, definitely.
I agree, but
what you got their record looking like this year? What you got the Cardinals sitting at, man?
Man, I forgot. I didn't even write that down, that record. But let me go through their schedule right quick, and I'm gonna tell you what I got them win against the Lions, losing against the Colts. I got them losing against the Cowboys, winning against the 49ers, losing against the Eagles, and losing against the Bucks.
Tampa Bay, yeah, I got them winning at the Colts, but so far we on the same page.
The only reason why I see them losing at the Colts is because Andrew Luck is not going to have a bad start like he did last year.
No, but that defense is going to be – I look at it like that. That defense is going to be –
I forgot about the defense. You know what? I totally forgot about the Cardinals defense.
They added in Reddick. They added in Buda Baker, so they got into safety. Matthew coming back, Peterson.
Let's take it back. Let's bring it back. The Colts going – so I got them losing 3 for right now, so they probably going to win against the Colts because Andrew is a turnover machine. Still in my book. Beating the Rams, beating the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I got them lose. I said the Seahawks was going to beat them this game, so got them losing that game. That's another one. Texans. Ooh, I
got an L on this one. I think at Reliant is
going to be a turnover machine.
And they don't have the line to match up with this defensive line if the defensive line is healthy. That's the key part.
Okay, I got that. You're right. I got them losing to the Jaguars. I feel like the Jaguars should be clicking by this time. And this is how I feel. Because I'm a Blake Bortles apologist, and I am. So I got them losing. I got them winning that game. So that's only 5 losses for right now. Beating the Rams once again. They may beat the Titans. Honestly,
I got them beating Tennessee, then going on a 3-game losing streak to end the season.
So I'm gonna say 9-7. Like they may float on 9-7, just how the Cardinals do. They kind of just float in there.
Max 10-6, but 9-7 is the floor.
That man, if you want to be honest, if you look at their I'm worried about David Johnson just in that stretch of
that middle stretch with Seattle, Houston, Jacksonville, Rams,
Titans.
Let's go.
The Redskins stepped their defense up, and then look at the Giants and Seahawks.
Starting the season, it's gonna be a cakewalk. The first 4 weeks, David.
Oh yeah, he's gonna eat.
He should run through Seattle. Not but run through Detroit, run through Colts, run through Dallas, run through San Francisco. Philly, that's where it's going to be tricky because Philly has a scary defense. They could be good or they could be mediocre, but when they get it going, Philly could be dangerous on the defensive line. And I think Tampa Bay defense is going to be improved. So I think he's going to start struggling week 7 when he faced that first-year Wade Phillips defense that we're going to talk about next.
You know what?
I think that's where the struggle's going to come.
Let me tell you one thing about David Johnson. He proved to me last year that he was indestructible to any team. Like no team could stop him because he was so efficient out the backfield and catching the ball. And he got all the red zone looks You can't go wrong with David Johnson. It may be a
He's
toss-up.
He's a must start every week. Then.
If the Cowboys have an easier schedule than the Cardinals, I would go with Zeke over him. But David Johnson, I ride or die with David Johnson, man.
Looking at the playoff schedule, how does playoff schedule look? It don't look too bad. I mean,
the Titans, Redskins, Giants, Seahawks. It depends on where the Seahawks at. If they're already clinched, they may be taking a back seat. The only thing is, I can see the Giants and the Seahawks being in the type of position where they're trying to take a hold of winning the division and really giving it to
because the Redskins and the Giants, in that division, you can't afford to lose those late games.
Exactly. So
that's why I got them lose. That's why I got Arizona losing the last 3. And then, like you said, it just depends on that Seattle game. Because if Seattle don't got nothing to play for, they're gonna shut down their players and get ready for the playoffs.
The game to watch David Johnson against the Eagles. If David Johnson has a very productive game against the Eagles, you might as well try to trade for him. I mean, if he has a bad game against the Eagles, trade for him. I'm trying to go for David Johnson.
I think the funnest game to watch is going to be that Cardinals Dallas Zeke versus Johnson matchup. I think that's going Monday night. Oh man,
Bonanza.
That game is going to decide a lot of fantasy games.
I hope I'm playing somebody. Who got Zeke and I got David Johnson.
I hate Monday night games though, man. They so stressful.
They are, man. Because I'm pulling my hair out.
I'd rather get it done on Sunday and just call it a day and enjoy.
Just let me know that I lost.
Yeah,
I hate to be up 30 points and they got like 2 people going. Yeah, I said no. I don't want to look at my phone.
They got 31. Come on, man. That's
the worst.
All right,
what we got next?
Next, we got the Rams. They finished 4-12 last year, and it's not a lot of things that excite me about this roster other than the defense. Because Wade Phillips in his first year, for some reason, always produces a top 5 defense. So if it's anybody that's going to fall in the draft, I think they'll be the one I snatch up.
Britt's still on the team? I thought Britt left.
Kenny Britt, I thought he was still on the team, man.
You might be right. I thought he left. Like I thought he had that breakout season last year, and I thought somebody picked him up. I don't know. I could be tripping, but on fantasy, I can't go nobody on this team. I know Todd Gurley is there. I don't want Todd Gurley. I don't trust Jared Goff. I don't like Tavon Austin. Kenny Britt was an anomaly last year. He had one of those seasons that I did not see happening. Like I looked up and I saw Kenny Britt was really stringing off a few games of 4 catches for 83 yards. So I had to grab him in the PPR, and he really paid dividends. But I'm not taking that chance again on him. And I know they got that tight end dude.
He went to the Browns. It was Robert Woods that they picked up. That was a new acquisition.
So you said Britt went to the Browns?
Yeah, Britt went to the Browns. And they picked up Robert Woods. That was.
I thought so. So if you look, okay, now that you say that, now that I say that I wouldn't be checking for Kenny Britt, I would be checking for Kenny Britt with the Browns because he's going to be a go-to weapon with him.
And Corey Coleman's hurt. Corey Coleman hurt again.
He stay hurt. Get rid of this bum. Like, what is going on? What's going on with the Browns? Or it's like a bad juju going around.
But man, what about Tavon Austin? I wouldn't touch him either. But if he's late, is he worth the Flyers? Is he worth like that last pick? If I just need an extra player, you wouldn't even just take him?
No, because man, he's in
a return yardage league?
Then I'm returning yardage league.
That's different. That's different.
He cooked me for one game. It was like I was playing Tavon Austin, and if you look at Tavon Austin's stats last year, he kind of
it'd be like 2, 3, 4, 15, 4, 5, 9. 13.
Exactly.
Like,
but the thing that pissed me off is he had a strand of games where he was like 3 points, 4 points, and I think it was like 6 points. Mm-hmm. So it was one game that he played. I forgot who they were playing. He cooked off the game where he got 2 touchdowns. He had like over 100 yards. Touchdown. I said, why did I play Tavon Austin when he had this
one week?
I literally, sometimes when I look at my roster playing fantasy, I look in and see who they have. I don't like to look at people's roster because it kind of nerves me up. So when this one day I looked at it and I was like, oh, he got Tavon Austin. That's free money. I'm about to eat, man. You know, I lost that game because it's fucking Tavon Austin. But I wouldn't take a flyer on him because he's a poor Deshaun Jackson. And you know how quick Deshaun Jackson can give you a boom? And he can give you a bust game. And I feel like Tavon Austin's boom is not as loud as Deshaun Jackson's boom, but his bust is like fucking worry words. Like he may give you 1 yard for
-2. Negative
Yeah,
two.
he will
He'll
give you
fumble
one of
that
those.
bitch.
I've seen him do that one. I forgot. I saw one time they gave him the ball. He got tackled in the backfield, and he caught one ball for like 0 yards. And I was like,
You suck.
look at this bum.
You suck. All right, man. What about Ty Gurley? They still got Ty Gurley going in the second round. I don't understand why people still drafting his ass so high.
I'm not.
I understand the volume, and volume is very important in fantasy football. But it's like, dude, when you averaging like 2 yards a carry, why would I want you to be my leading back in the second round? You're looking for starters, and if I know for sure my starter could either range from 18 to 3 points, I don't want him because it's no consistency. They really didn't do much to help the line out. They drafted a tight end in the second round and then went on the run with 2 more receivers by the time we get to the 4th round. So he did nothing to help Ty Gurley out. So he's going to be going out there with the same exact line he had last year.
And he doesn't have a favorable schedule. If you look at his their schedule, Colts, maybe the 49ers, maybe the Cowboys, and then he's going to struggle against everybody else. Because I feel like
it's disgusting.
It's going to be a mirage. There's one team that's going to be a mirage. The Saints picked up some nice key pieces on the defensive end, and they really were playing great. I'm going to say damn near great defense in the tail end of last year. And I feel like Drew Brees is on a mission of going to that Super Bowl. So I don't see that defense being a pushover like it has been for 3 or 4 years. So that's going to be a trap game for a whole bunch of people, in my opinion. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, I'll bite that bullet, but I think it's a trap.
No, I can definitely agree with that, man. But, it's like I say, other than Ty Gurley going so high, I don't think anybody else on this team is draftable. I think if you wanted like a spot start, I think Goff and Gerald Everett, they're going to have some type of connection, especially in training camp, because those young quarterbacks just love going to their tight ends, and this rookie tight end, he probably has the best hands on the team other than Cooper Kupp, but I think Cooper Kupp is going to be working the slot a lot. But you really can't trust your young quarterback to try to get that slot connection in there because it's going to be a lot of schemes that's going to try to goad them into those bad throws. So I think if it's anybody that could make an impact that nobody's really checking for, I think it'd be Gerald Everett as a spot start tight end. He probably could have like a Cameron Braid type of season, or maybe
like 600 yards and maybe like
just a little bit. Just that 1 week. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I don't got no tight ends.
Exactly.
Ebron hurt. Throw him in there. He may get something going. But like I say, other than that, I don't think it's anybody else you can touch on the Rams other than their defense.
I don't know who the Rams are beating. Honestly, I'm looking at their schedule.
I actually got them at 5-11, bro. And
they may be the Colts. They may be the Colts because Wade Phillips knows Andrew Luck after all those years.
My 5 victories are going to be Washington. I think they're going to sneak Washington with their defense. I think they'll beat San Francisco. I think they'll beat Jacksonville. I think they'll beat New Orleans, and I think they'll beat San Francisco again.
Beat New Orleans?
I think they're going to sneak New Orleans at home.
Man, I got them losing to.
There's nobody else I can see. That's the only out of all the tough matchups. Because let's be honest, I don't see them beating the Colts. I think there's going to be a little bit too much offense, especially out the gate. Andrew Luck on a mission. Dallas going to run through their ass. Seattle going to run through them. Arizona going to run through them. Giants going to run through them. I think Houston going to run through them. Minnesota defense too much for them. Arizona going to be too much. I like Philly this year. I think Seattle going to win again, and I think Tennessee going to pull out a victory.
Man, you sleeping on Jaguars, man. You snoring on them boys, and I think the Jaguars are going to have a damn good season. And I don't see the Rams being nobody, but maybe
when you look at all the quarterbacks on this list in a Wade Phillips defense, who can he confuse the most?
Man,
Be real. Other than Brian Hoyer. Hoyer don't count, bro.
Man, but okay, so you say that on the defense, but Leonard Fournette back there, and even if he were to have a turnover game, man, Bortles is gonna boom and get you at least maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns. Can you see the Rams? This is how I do with the Rams. Can I see the Rams scoring more than 2 or 3 touchdowns against any of these teams? And I have to say, no, maybe the 49ers, and that's it. I can see the Jaguar. I can see Leonard Fournette scooting for maybe I can see the Jaguars defense picking fucking Jared Goff off and taking to the house. I can't see them winning any. Honestly, they may win the Colts or Redskins and the 49ers. So I gave them like 3 wins. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because the Colts, like I said, Wade Phillips knows Andrew Luck after all them years playing with the Texans that he may catch them surprise, and it's opening night. Fans really might get that organization going. But if not, man, Redskins. Even if the Redskins pick up Jeremy Maclin or Eric Decker, they're gonna lose that game. 49ers are a toss up in the air. I have more respect for Carlos Hyde to go off than Todd Gurley. So I don't know, man. I give him 3 wins, maybe 2. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I got the 49ers having more wins than them, honestly.
Oh man, I got them having less.
Oh shit.
I don't like the 49ers at all, man. We can jump right into them. They finished 2-14 last year. And if you want to be honest with you, I think they're only going to win one more game than last year. But as far as the fantasy aspect, Carlos Hyde going in the 3rd round, and I don't even trust Carlos Hyde with his injury history. But if you do want to take a fly on Carlos Hyde, then you better grab like a Tim Hightower or Joe Williams. You better have somebody to handcuff because remember last year all those running backs kept getting signed and kept going off at random times.
Yeah, man. Like what's his name? Harris was back there, and what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name. Jesus, they call him the Big Salad. Man, what is his name? Sean Drawn. What? Like, no, I'm sorry. I mean, a healthy Carlos Hyde is something to look for, and I'm looking at Carlos Hyde for like the tail end of the season. The Bears, the Texans. You know how the Texans still do struggle against the run, in my opinion. The Titans, I can see him cooking them. I can see him cooking the Jags and that Rams defense, or I can see the opposite. I can see the opposite.
I don't have the 49ers winning their first game until week 13.
Oh my Lord!
I think the 49ers are going to get off to. Man, look at this. This schedule is worse than the Rams, and the Rams schedule is just as brutal. But Cam Newton on the revenge year, of course, Seattle. I think the LA Rams are going to get to him early. Arizona, the Colts, Washington, Dallas, Philly, Arizona, the Giants. Bro, that is brutal. Like it's no team that I can honestly see them beating. Out of the first 12 games, who has the best chance? Our first 11 games.
I got them beating the Rams both times, and I also got because I'm flip on the Rams.
I think that's where we differ. Is just
that's what we the Rams those head-to-head matchups.
Let's take those out. let's take those.
I have them beating the Bears. That's it.
I got Bears. I got Tennessee, and I got Jacksonville. And I wasn't even confident with Tennessee or Jacksonville. Yeah. I'm more confident with the Rams beating Jacksonville than I am with the 49ers beating Jacksonville.
The problem is, man,
they have no weapons.
They have none.
Pierre Garçon.
I like. That's why I was gonna pick them because I like those 2 players. I like those 2. That's the only reason why I would choose them because I like Carlos Hyde. I like Jeremy Curley because as bad as people make it seem, Jeremy Curley is okay.
He had a solid year.
He had a solid year. But they also have Tim Hightower that I like. They still have the defense should be a little bit better.
Yeah, with Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, and they picked up a cornerback also in the draft. So they coming back? They just young though, man. You know, like how often can you see 3 rookies come in and make an immediate impact on a team that won 2 games?
But I'm gonna tell you, this is my changing factor. And looking at the schedule, as we have seen, I have the one changing factor that the Rams don't have. I like Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer will be the starting quarterback for the 49ers, and I can see him surprising people and damn near winning like 4 or 5 games because, on the contrary, Brian Hoyer protects the ball. He doesn't make as many mistakes. That's why he's a good backup.
And he knows the system.
And he knows the system, and he's playing with Shanahan. And then you have Pierre Garçon, you have Curley. If Carlos Hyde can have the season they had last year, a better season than that, you might have, the 49ers defense may come into shape. They may win at least 4 or 5 games, so I can't sleep on them. They may upset and, like you said, beat the Titans or Jaguars, and then I can see them beating the Rams because I don't like the Rams offense. I trust the 49ers offense more than I trust the Rams offense. And those are 2 flyers that I would like to take a look at. I would look at Brian Hoyer if you're in a 2 QB league because I'm going to take a look at him. I'm telling you this already, DeMarcus, so I just gave up a secret. And
you can have him.
I'll take him. I'll take him because I feel like – because if you remember, I'm going to talk – okay, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
Who would you feel comfortable starting him against? Like, look at this schedule.
I've seen his schedule. But
look at the playoff schedule.
That's fine.
Seattle, Houston.
But I'm gonna tell you why I like Brian Hoyer, because with the Giants, I mean with the Bears last year, he was facing top defense and still was cooking niggas for like 300 yards and 1 touchdown because Alshon was being a bum.
One really top it's NFL defenses, but top defenses, I don't know, man. Hey, 300 yards is impressive. 300 yards, Brock Osweiler did not pass for 300 yards. So
he broke, but he did. That's more. Jay Cutler wasn't even putting up 300 yards back to back like Brian Hoyer was. Like, I mean.
He had a good season, but he at this point in his career, he has to be known as injury prone. From the concussion he got down here, season-ending injury with Cleveland, then last year another season-ending injury. So that's 3 years where we know for sure Brian Hoyer is getting hurt in the last 4 years. So it's not always a guarantee that he's going to be standing by week 13.
So that's true. But I would take a flyer for, like, if you want to be honest, I'm taking Pierre Garçon in like round 7 or 8, and I'm taking a flyer on Jeremy Curley on a little later rounds, and I'm taking a flyer on
Pierre Garçon at the moment is going round 9, so you don't even got to shoot that high for him, my man. He should be there because people gonna see that SF next to his name, be like, Hoyer. A lot of people scared of Hoyer. See, you believe in Hoyer because you know fantasy more than most, so you know Brian Hoyer is going to get his number 1 targets the ball. That's what a lot of people don't realize. So 9 to you seems like a steal when we actually want him in like 7 or 8, like a John Brown, because he's going to have those number 1 targets. But if you can wait a little bit and just scare everybody else with that SF, you'll get him for a steal, and he may be a wide receiver too in no time.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is how I look at it. Cam Meredith last year. Mm-hmm. Do you think Pierre Garçon is better than Cameron Meredith?
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Brian Hoyer was doing nothing but targeting and peppering him.
Pierre Garçon was the number 1 receiver for the coach for a little bit when Reggie Wayne was hurt.
Exactly. So I'm like, he has good talent, and I feel like he's still
without his productivity, Kirk Cousins doesn't get the 4,000 yards also.
Exactly, because he was consistent, and Deshaun Jackson was hit or miss. You know how he is. So you got to give that man some love. So I'm taking, if he in the 9th round, that's a steal. I'm taking him on my bench. I'm happy.
And also another one to throw out there. I know it seems like we keep referring to the tight ends, but Vance McDonald, he has some.
I like Vance McDonald.
And we know Brian Hoyer. He only looks at a certain amount of receivers, and I think he has the best hands on the team when I look at the overall roster. Outside of Pierre Garçon, I think the next best hands on the team is going to definitely go to Vance McDonald. It's a big target.
But you better watch. You gotta watch him, because the reason why Vance McDonald
it's another spot start. It's not somebody you draft. You don't draft Vance McDonald. You pick him up if you need a tight end. Like once again, if Gronkowski's hurt and you don't got no other options because 15 of the best tight ends taken up, get Vance McDonald, get Gerald Everett, see what happens. You never know.
But think about this. The only reason why I say Shanahan he's not one to throw to the tight end that often. He had Jordan Reed, and Jordan Reed wasn't doing nothing when he was when Shanahan was running that. And on top of that, when Shanahan was running the Texans offense, we weren't really throwing to the tight end.
Owen Daniels is one of the top targets, man. It depends on the talent. It depends on the talent.
Because look at what's his name last year? The tight end for the
Austin Hooper. He was already though.
Austin Hooper was balling, and they just like stopped going to him. Like he was like straight up.
I mean, when you got Julio Jones, Gabriel, and
that is true.
And Coleman, and Free.
Okay, you have talked me. Okay, if you want to take a flyer on Vance McDonald, you can go.
No, not a flyer. Not a flyer. Don't draft.
Oh, you don't draft. Oh, you just pick him up. Okay, yeah,
just pick him up.
Okay, I'll pick him up. He may have like a Cameron Braid.
There you go.
What's his name? Old boy from the Browns that just got cut. The tight end.
Oh, Barnage. Oh,
yeah, Barnage.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, he's old.
In a league, I understand he's old, but I think tight ends can get. Look at Jason Witten. Jason Witten like 39. Like he's
well, you know who can
Tony
use him.
Gonzalez played for 41. So what's
the name? Nick can use him. The Ravens sure can use him.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand. How you going to release Pitta and not make a transaction to pick up Gary Barnage? You've seen him play. He's went off on you. Pick up a tight end. You clearly need targets.
I mean, it's the Ravens. I mean, I think
the Ravens. They're waiting for Decker to clear. I think that's going to be.
They want him. They want him. That's a good weapon, because with him and Joe Flacco, that should be a nice little connection, because Joe Flacco is way better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I'm taking that flyer on Eric Decker if they pick him up.
There we go, man. So in the overall review of the NFC West, who is the best players that you like? Of course, we got David Johnson, but is there anybody else you just want to give a quick shout out that we already reviewed?
Always Russell, like I said, Russell Wilson, Eddie Lacy, Doug Baldwin, that Seattle defense.
Number one, you gotta get them. It's too early for me, man.
I'm not drafting them early.
Once Seattle come off the board, it's like, oh, okay, you wasted a pick.
Okay, well, you can have that.
Yeah, you can.
Here's the type of defense like them, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Texans.
Because you never know. Anybody can go off on.
I'm picking up the Giants. I don't care. I'm secret out. I'm picking up the Giants defense because I looked at their schedule and I like what they may do on the defensive side of the ball. But then I'm also going to take a look at maybe Carlos Hyde if he falls in a favorable round for me. If he's down there in like when 20 running backs are off the board,
right now he's at late round 3. Right now he's at late round 3.
If he goes that high, that's fucking stupid, man. I'm grabbing whoever they should have got because I'm not picking up that high.
They got him listed as like the 20th best running back.
They did that last year. And what did Carlos Hyde do? Nothing. He got hurt, and then he had a productive game. Then he had a fall off game. Then
let me tell you a couple of the backs that's right under Carlos Hyde. Let me see what you think of them. We got Doug Martin, Tevin Coleman, Joe Mixon, and Bilal Powell.
Why are they by him? What? And that's in the 3rd round? What number? Like how many running backs off the board by then?
20. At this point in the stage, I just start like midway through. Of course, the top 10 gone. Then you got like Gurley, Miller, Crowell, Fournette, Gillislee, Spencer Ware, Frank Gore, Ingram.
Damn, Gillingsley's going over him. I'm not taking.
Why not?
Man,
hey.
Yeah, he's a touchdown.
I think he'll be in that blunt role. So I think that's why he's going a lot higher than what people think.
You're right.
He's going to get that role, but you don't think a lot of those running backs are they shouldn't be around Carlos Hyde? I said, what's that? Martin, Coleman, Mixon, and Bilal Powell. You think he should be higher, a little bit higher on the list? Or?
He might be a little bit higher. Now that you say it, maybe I short change Carlos Hyde. Maybe he is a little bit better. He's better than Bilal Powell's the backup to Forte, and he's better than all those backups.
And even a couple names I said, I think I'd take Hyde over Ware. I think Ware's going to lose his job. I'd probably take him over Gore because Gore's just too fucking old.
He's old, man. I can't trust him, but
that's enough. He's kind of like the Larry Fitzgerald of running backs. I've never had Gore on my team. I don't know why. He has some good years in San Francisco. I'd probably take Hyde over McCaffrey because I don't know what kind of role McCaffrey's going to be in, especially when you still got Jonathan Stewart and you still got Chris Samuel that they drafted.
I'm taking McCaffrey because the simple fact is John Stewart can't stay healthy.
If it's PPR, McCaffrey.
Oh, McCaffrey all day because that's
if it's standard. Yeah. If it's standard,
I'm not taking him in standard.
No.
But you're right.
Because with Cam Newton getting all those goal line carries,
exactly.
It's like, all right, yeah, they're gonna take away. Man, it's been a good talk. I think this has been a very good breakdown today.
Yes, sir.
Y'all gonna be going to the NFC North next week.
Northside Long Beach.
I know, right? Anything you got to say before we head up out of here, man?
Nah, just go check out Wonder Woman. Don't go check out The Mummy this weekend. Enjoy your loved ones. Check out that sweep that's gonna take place on Friday because I did call it. So when you see Kevin Durant coming up there with the MVP trophy, just remember that Marcus said it first before everybody.
I finished throwing up. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you eat something bad over there?
Yeah, I ate some bad finals.
Oh,
I wish they was good like last year.
Oh man,
I wish I had some leftovers.
Hey man, you don't want you don't want the finals from last year because I was heartbroken last year because I called the Warriors in 5 and I was really depressed that they didn't win in 5.
Hey, they almost won. So hey,
almost don't count. Only in horseshoes. They don't count.
I'm sorry, Brandy. I tried.
No.
But man, you enjoy your time with your family, big dog. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.